And you've read, I've read in your little thing that you are, quote unquote, the U.S. ambassador to gypsy jazz.
Yeah, I guess I am. You know,
Where did you get this? Get the Django bug?
You know, I was working at Disneyland in California, and part of the day was Dixieland music, and I played the clarinet, and part of the day was bluegrass music, and I played the mandolin. And the banjo players that I met...
Were you in a bear outfit or anything at the time?
No,
oh,
no, but sometimes we'd have to wear things that I would rather not. But, a couple of the banjo players that I met were really virtuosic banjo players, and they were emulating guys like Eddie Peabody and Harry.
So and they were tenor banjo, four-string.
Plectrum and tenor. Harry Reeser stuff on the tenor banjo, Eddie Peabody stuff on the plectrum banjo, which are two different tunings, and it was like so flashy and amazing. I asked him, God, and I heard some of the guitarists from that period, like Eddie Lang and Dick McDonough and Carl Chris and stuff like that, but they weren't like outlandish and flashy like those banjo players. And I asked the guys, I said, wasn't there any guitar players from that time that was, you know, really kicked ass like these banjo players? And they said, oh, you got to hear Django Reinhardt. You know, so I'm like, okay. So I went down to Tower Records when it still existed, and I found some vinyl of Django, and I went, that's absolutely it. It was like Hendrix on an acoustic guitar. Fiery and wild and all over the fingerboard and passionate
and doing
and
things
exciting.
that didn't exist.
Exactly. And you know, years of study later, I realized that he was trying to make his guitar sound like Louis Armstrong's trumpet, because that's what inspired him, Louis. So he did all this phrasing and all this stuff, and plus the fact that he just had two fingers to use on his left hand, you know. And then he became the
And
best
what
guitarist
was
ever.
the deformity of it? Which
His hand was burned back in here.
Yeah.
So all these
people
tens-
don't know he also sold gypsy candles and lived in a wagon, and there was a fire and his fingers were deformed.
Yeah, this was all scarred and all the tendons were pulled back like that. So he couldn't straighten those fingers. They just stayed like that all the time. He could move however he wanted. And he'd be able to put those on for certain chords. Like if it was that shape, he could do that.
So he basically had three fingers, but only two.
These were
mobility.
stuck together.
Those
so,
are sort of
so
like
all his single notes,
alternate universe bar chords. Yeah.
he would do all like that. So amazing, you know. And he worked all these kind of techniques to get so much out of the guitar. Anyway, that really inspired me, and I love the sound of his acoustic guitar, you know, Selmer Macaffery, which doesn't sound anything like this type, or a classical, or an arch top.
Sounds like nothing on earth.
It's its
other than
own
it.
beast. Yeah. You know, half the time when
And it's not even just the old recordings. Like when you play one
No, it's the
record,
type of-
it sounds like the old
yeah,
recording.
it's that type of guitar. And so often when I do a sound check, the sound man will say, "Your guitar sounds kind of funny. Is it supposed to sound like that?" I'm like, yes, it is. You know, it's not supposed to sound like that.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know? You know, you kind of want everything to be short
It's
and
supposed to
punchy,
be,
not ringy. And
You know, basically like a plywood plank with strings on it and a really big hole that's just being pushed out.
well, what it is the braces are slightly arched, and the top is sort of glued to those arched braces. So you have almost like a speaker cone, a little springboard action, a little bit like a dobro or something, the way the top sits. So the design came from, I think, originally from Italian mandolins, where there's anyway, not to get all technical, but that's
When you normally play Django stuff, do you use more?
I use all my fingers because I have them, but a lot of his licks I learned with two fingers.
Now, I was
because
very
they work
impressed.
better.
I wanted to bring that up. You were in this film, Head in the Clouds,
Yeah.
Where you actually played, aside from being doing the music for the film, it took place at Les Hot Club.
Yeah.
And they just penciled, thin mustached you up.
Yep.
And you played playing Django.
Yeah.
And you insisted that they give you a prosthetic.
Yeah, they put makeup on my hand back here, so it would like pull it, you know, like it was scarred and stuff, and it actually made it very painful to try to play any other way than Django style. So, but I had learned.
So you basically relearned everything that you learned.
Well, I learned those pieces for that
Yeah.
film with the two fingers, so I could And the director was into it.
Dedication.
The director was into it enough, you know, to have those details. And even there was little place cards on the tables that said tonight only in French, you know, Hot Club of France featuring Django and Stefan. It was really cool.
That
was an awesome experience.
Awesome. Okay. Okay.
I was thinking of a question to ask you, and it's just like one of the all-time dumb questions, like who's your favorite kid, or what's the favorite song that you wrote? But thought maybe you can come up and, you know, either, it's not like say the first word that comes to your mind, but really talk about these individual styles that you play and what you love or what you get or how you feel when you're playing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, why you go from
Yeah.
all of these things? Why you decided to have 5 or 6 kids? You know.
Right.
So when you're playing rock, what is the?
Well, of course, the power of it, you know, just the power and simplicity and directness, and also how it moves people, you know. And
Please hold my
kind of, you know, it of course has the blues element to it. So all of that, and it's such a wide palette too. You know, you get anywhere from Deep Purple with sort of semi-classical, you know, prog thing, to the most raw, you know, to the craziness of the Who. You know, I just love all, and I love the sound of the electric guitar too, and what you can do to it, and how personal it is. You know, and I
basically get your yayas out.
Yeah, and like you said, with pedals and the different things, the way you can manipulate the tone, and you go from anywhere from a, you know, twangy Telecaster sound to a super overdriven feedback whammy bar stuff. It's just it's so expressive too, the rock
You
guitar.
know, so like the palette.
Yeah.
And basically, it was our only shot at getting girls. In our mind.
Oh, yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We didn't have the stamina for swimming those laps. And
Oh
running
no,
around
athletic
the
stuff
track.
for me. No.
Okay, and what about country? You know, what gives you the?
Well, again, like the tone of I love pedal steel guitar. You know, I'm not a good pedal steel player, but I can play a little bit. I just love to hear that sound, and also again the sound of a Telecaster. You know, being played like Reggie Young or, you know, James Burton, or that kind of sound I really like. And
Was
then
Burton
also
probably most influential?
Huh?
Was Burton one of the most influential to you?
I wouldn't say one of the most, because I'd heard him sort of later on. He did influence me though, because I listened to those early Emmylou Harris records, and you know, I thought he was amazing.
And the Ricky stuff.
Yeah. But you know, I have to say I listened more to Rick Nelson stuff when you were in the band, and the Stone Canyon band era. That was I mean, I remember the songs from when I was young, you know, and from Ricky Nelson on Ozzy and Harriet and As a Star. But really, I focused in on him like from the Live at the Troubadour album onwards. And
That's great.
but I guess other country guitarists, you know, I really loved rockabilly too. So Eddie Cochran and Cliff Gallup and Carl Perkins and Scotty Moore, and you know, I love all of that, and those are kind of, I think, building blocks of country guitar too. And then, you know, that takes me into the bluegrass world, which I love the sound of Clarence White playing, who then kind of Tony Rice kind of took that and developed it further, and Doc Watson. And I love the harmonies that you get in bluegrass and country
sound.
too, you know. Yeah, and playing the mandolin, that kind of aggressive, bluesy.
When did you start playing mandolin?
Well, I got that job at Disneyland in 1979, and I just lied. I said I could play mandolin, and I couldn't. I wanted to learn, and so I practiced a lot.
You wanted to earn more than you even wanted to learn.
Yeah. I needed a gig, and I did really want to learn how to play it. Even before the gig, I was really into it. So I strangely kind of started more in the David Grisman world, And then the more I learned, the more traditional I got, and I learned, about Jesse McReynolds and from Jim and Jesse and how he did the cross picking. And then I really got into the Monroe style and listened to all Bill Monroe and, his kind of blues-based, aggressive down. It was kind of similar to Chuck Berry in a way, in a strange way.
Yeah, all the double stops.
Yeah, and down strokes all the time.
And those kind of things like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, Monroe did all that kind of stuff.
And the last three, what would be your three desert island albums or songs?
Well, I certainly have to have a collection of Django, of his early.
Okay, box sets are included.
Yeah, or just any of his, just a batch of him of some kind, and probably a lot of the early to mid period, 35 to 39 or something. I really love that, because then you get Stephen Grappelli as well,
Okay.
And probably Who's Next, for a rock record. I just love that record, and strangely, probably Ralph Vaughan Williams' Fantasia on a Theme by Thomas Tallis is an orchestra piece that's just, if I'm ever in a bad mood, I put that on and it makes me feel good.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Heavenly.
It's a string, it's a string orchestra. Beautiful.
Oh, that's a wild cross section.
Yeah. And I love the Seekers too, the folk group from Australia. They always make me feel. Yes.
I did that. So let's sing that damn song.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a new world somewhere they call the promised land, and I'll be there someday if you will take my hand. But if I lose your love, dear, I don't know what I'd do, 'cause I know I'll never find another you. There is always someone forever, must they say, and I'll be that someone forever and a day. But if I lose your love, dear, I don't know what I'd do, 'cause I know I'll never find another you. It's a long, long journey, so stay by my side. When I walk through the storm, I'll be your guide, I'll be your guide. If you gave me a fortune, my pleasures would be small. I would lose it all tomorrow and never care at all. But if I should lose your love, dear, I don't know what I'd do, for I know I'll never find another you. Another you. Another you.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Last thing in the world I would think I would be doing today, interviewing
Seeker
John,
song.
talking to Django and Gypsy Jazz, is playing an old Seeker
I
song.
love them.
That's
Yeah.
what we want to get going
I
on
love them.
on Gorilla
Pardon?
TV.
This has been like the best work day of my life.
Ah,
Oh,
thank you.
I have been so sorry.
Thank you.
You can move in.
To quote Mark Knopfler, if that ain't working, that's the way you do it.